Next on the news, comments from New York's Governor Kathy Hochul are giving new hope to pro-life activists in the Empire State, how their prayers about an assisted suicide bill might soon be answered. It's a new chapter for Jackson Heights Parish as their school gets a much-needed boost.
As a Queens pastor is installed, he's making a commitment to Catholic education. I'm Katie Vasquez, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, St. Francis Prep is honoring their alumni. See the latest inductees to the Queens Catholic High School's Hall of Fame. I'm Christine Persichette. Current News starts right now. It's a matter of life and death, and it lies in Governor Kathy Hochul's hands. New York's Catholic governor has to decide whether an assisted suicide bill becomes law. She briefly talked about it on Friday, and the faithful are hopeful she'll choose life.
The day has finally arrived. We've been talking for over a year about putting more money back in people's pockets.
On the day, Governor Kathy Hochul announced inflation rebate checks would be mailed out to New Yorkers. She also addressed an issue with a lot more value to Catholics: the Medical Aid in Dying Act. The bill, which would legalize assisted suicide for those with terminal illnesses, is still sitting on the governor's desk. It passed both houses of the state legislature in the spring. Hochul, who is Catholic, has to sign the bill before it becomes law.
I do have the ability, and have many times embarked on this, to separate my personal beliefs, my religious beliefs, but I always have a very solid moral code that never leaves me when I make decisions for New Yorkers.
Many Catholics see this as a sign of hope that the governor will veto this bill. The New York State Catholic Conference, which strongly opposes it, is encouraging Governor Hochul to take her time in making this life or death decision. The executive director saying in a statement, "We deeply appreciate Governor Hochul giving this decision the weight it deserves. It is a matter of life and death, after all. We are confident that ultimately she will come to the same conclusion as the American Medical Association, which called assisted suicide incompatible with the physician's role as healer and said it would be difficult or impossible to control and would pose serious societal risks." To make your voice heard and urge Governor Hochul to not sign the bill, just go to nyscatholic.org. A link to a pre-made message is available right there on the homepage. Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan has been calling on all Catholics to reach out to Governor Hochul since the bill passed in the spring. He joined Currents News to talk about what this bill could mean for vulnerable communities.
We're already sliding pretty fast along those slippery slopes. You know, it goes back to with the legalization of abortion, this whole culture of death that the sainted Pope John Paul II talked about, or to quote the late Pope Francis, the throwaway culture. You know, so we're already on that trajectory, and boy, we're taking a big slide now with this assisted suicide. Yeah, well, incurable illnesses with 6 months to live with a free choice. Well, there's no checks. There's no checks to see that it's really a free choice. There's no psychological background. There's no no accounting for coercion or for depression, mental illness. There were all kinds of problems with this particular bill. The very concept of assisted suicide is a serious moral issue. But now, couple that with how poorly this bill is written, it's a disaster.
Yeah, are you concerned for the disabled? Because, as you know, Canada recently broadened its law to extend the option to people with disabilities.
Exactly. And what happens is now, you know, they say, well, we're making it easier. But what they're doing is they're making you less free. I'm very concerned about the freedom of individuals to make these choices when there's coercion all around you. And it'll be in subtle ways. Who's going to decide what kind of procedures or what kind of care will be covered, whether it be under government programs or under insurance, because there's a very cheap option available now.
Yeah, well, that's scary.
When you see that, when you see the pattern of regulations Catholic health care, on the dignity of life, coupled with the shrinking reimbursements for care, long-term care for the elderly. You see it happen all the time. So how free is somebody to make that choice when there's no way to pay?
It's really hard. And according to the bill, in order for a person to get a doctor's help to commit suicide, they have to provide a written and oral request, and they have to administer the prescriptions themselves. But as you've said already in the past, we're already dealing with a suicide crisis in this country. So what message does this send?
And this is where we're going to try to be hopeful with the governor. She's given indications that she would sign it, but she's taking it under consideration. Well, I hope she'll take it under consideration in a way that's consistent with her bold actions in terms of suicide prevention. We're sending a very mixed message. As soon as you say there are times when life is not worth living, what message are you sending to somebody who's suffering severe crises?
Developing tonight, at least 4 people are dead, several others wounded after investigators say a man opened fire on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints outside Flint, Michigan. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
A community in mourning.
It's really kind of tough to see it in the background and realize that, a lifetime of memories is just gone.
As investigators search for answers,
we are continuing to work to determine a motive. In the past 24 hours, our investigative squads and specialty teams have been out all night, exhausting leads.
Worshippers were attending Sunday services when police say a man crashed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. The suspect began shooting with an assault rifle and then used an accelerant like gasoline to set a fire, authorities believe.
These are places that we go to feel connected, to feel safe, to be together. But today, this place has been shattered by bullets and broken glass.
Authorities say the shooter died during an exchange of gunfire with police. The suspect was identified as a 40-year-old U.S. Marine veteran who served in the Iraq War.
This is clearly a mentally ill man, and we just don't understand the motive yet. What we know is that people who were just trying to pray at church were killed in their house of worship, a place that should be a sanctuary and safe. And we need to focus on the community right now and getting them the healing that they need.
In Grand Blanc Township, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Among those sending their support to the faithful include the shepherd of the Diocese of Brooklyn, Bishop Robert Brennan. In a message on X, formerly Twitter, he wrote, "The news of the mass shooting and the setting of fire at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan is beyond disturbing. We pray earnestly for those who died and were injured, for their families, and for all those who were gathered on a Sunday morning to pray." And of course, the faithful in Flint will be in our prayers. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Love was in the air in the Diocese of Brooklyn over the weekend as almost 40 couples said "I do" all over again.
I would ask the couples now to please stand to review their wedding vows.
Brooklyn Auxiliary Bishop Emeritus Paul Sanchez celebrated the Diocesan Wedding Anniversary Mass at Holy Family Parish in Fresh Meadows on Saturday, which recognized couples celebrating milestone years in their marriage. Bishop Sanchez also blessed the couples, thanking them for their witness to the faith. Meantime, Bishop Brennan gave some much-needed guidance to Catholic college students last week. The Brooklyn Shepherd celebrating Mass at the Newman Center at Brooklyn College, which looks to help students of the school grow together in faith. After Mass, Bishop Brennan then sat with the young men and women for lunch and conversation. The bishop was also on hand to help a Queens Catholic Academy celebrate 100 years of an excellent education. Bishop Brennan celebrated a Mass for the 100th anniversary of St. Andrew Avellino Catholic Academy. The Flushing School officially opened its doors on September 25th, 1925, under the guidance of the Dominican Sisters of Peace. At the time, there were 8 classrooms and 250 children enrolled. During the anniversary celebration, current students and alumni were allowed to wander the halls of St. Andrews after Mass, going through memorabilia and reminiscing about their time in the classroom. How fun. A Queens church started a new chapter this weekend, installing their pastor on Sunday. But the new leader of St. Joan of Arc Church has already been working to better his new parish. Currents News' Katie Vasquez has the story from Jackson Heights.
In our salvation always and everywhere to give you thanks.
As Father Christopher Henry was officially installed as the pastor at St. Joan of Arc Church, he took a few moments to greet the church's fellow clergy, parish council, and staff. The Queens native says it feels like a homecoming.
It's nice to be back in Queens. This particular parish, St. Joan of Arc, is a very diverse parish.
While he is excited to officially take the helm as pastor, his work at the Jackson Heights Church has already begun. Over the summer, he launched the Father Henry Installation Challenge.
I came to some friends, some vendors, some donors, and asked them to make a 5-year commitment to St. Joan of Arc School. And my goal originally was $100,000.
We have raised together $157,000.
During his installation mass, Father Henry announced they had exceeded their goal, a sign of a great new chapter for St. Joan of Arc.
A lot more people can interact with our school, a lot more people can join our school, and it's just really exciting that people can get an opportunity like this.
A scholarship was also created in honor of Father Stephen Baldasso, a longtime parish priest who just turned 91.
The Father Baldasso Scholarship allows us to highlight families that are in need, to provide that same assistance.
The money gives more opportunities for young parishioners like Elizabeth Rubio to get a Catholic education.
I felt excited when my mom told me, and I felt emotional when I came to the first day of school.
The principal is grateful for Father Henry's presence at a time when Catholic education faces many obstacles.
I feel blessed. I think it's our job to make sure that they grow as apostles of Jesus, and we can do that by investing in Catholic education.
Ensuring this Queen's school continues faith-filled education for years to come. In Jackson Heights, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
To enroll your child in a Catholic school, just visit catholicschoolsbq.org or call 718-965-7380 for more information. So speaking of Catholic schools, I love to brag about mine. But as journalists, we aren't supposed to insert ourselves into the stories we cover. So this one is a little awkward for me. I'm honored to tell you that I was inducted into the St. Francis Prep Hall of Fame this weekend. The alumni board at the Fresh Meadows High School chooses people for, among other things, their service, leadership, and spirituality. I am so humbled by this recognition, especially because of the company I now keep. My fellow inductees include Rice University President Reginald DeRoche, U.S. Navy Commander John Freitas, and former assistant football coach at Prep Brian Collins, who was posthumously inducted. It really was a great night, and this is the plaque that I received. It has my face on it, and I love it, and it's all thanks to my best friends to this day who I met at Prep, who nominated me for this honor. So really thankful to them. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichette. Thank you for joining us, because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.